Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Wehry History and Entertainment News in the Berkshires and beyond. As the temperatures rise, many outdoor activities are going on. On this episode, I'll be highlighting some local running events and previewing 4th of July activities. Plus, I'll be discussing one of my favorite action movies and beginning the 2025 Basketball Hall of Fame Biographies. First, it's time for this episode's trivia question. This episode's question is, when was the first Pittsfield 4th of July parade? Now, for this episode's local headlines. First, we'll be visiting the Berkshire Athenaeum in Pittsfield for their annual short story contest. The Berkshire Athenaeum, Pittsfield's public library, and the Friends of the Berkshire Athenaeum are thrilled to announce the 47th annual short story writing contest for children and the 28th annual short story writing contest for young adults. There is no theme. Those interested can write whatever they wish, as long as they keep it clean and within a word limit. The event officially opened in June and will close promptly at 4 p.m. on Friday, August 1st. The library accepts submissions in multiple convenient ways. In person at the library, via mail, Berkshire Athenaeum, attention, short story contest, 1 Wendell Ave, Pittsfield, Mass., or by email. Children's entries can be emailed to childrens@pittsfieldlibrary.org and young adult entries to youngadult@pittsfieldlibrary.org. For more information, including official contest rules and guidelines, visit www.pittsfieldlibrary.org. Email the address just mentioned with short story contest in the subject line, or call the Children's Library at 413-499-9480, option 5. Please note that the Pittsfield Library is currently ongoing renovations. For our next story, we are going to be discussing running events in Berkshire County, courtesy of the Berkshire Running Foundation. The impacts the running community makes in the Berkshires continue to grow each year. In 2025, these events include the Independence Day 5K in Pittsfield on July 4th, the High Lawn Farm Keep Moving 5K in Lee on July 27th, Pedal and Plod Biathlon in Adams on August 3rd, and the Greylock 8-Mile Road Race in North Adams on August 31st. For more information, contact Lemmy at director@berkshirerun.org or visit berkshirerun.org. One of the running events that I discussed, the Independence Day 5K, leads nicely into our next story. The 4th of July festivities in Berkshire County. This is one of the biggest holidays of the year, and Berkshire County celebrates with a wide variety of events. Probably the biggest event is the Pittsfield 4th of July Parade. The Pittsfield Parade is one of the largest 4th of July events in Massachusetts, filled with floats, bands, drill teams, veterans, entertainment groups, and more. The parade is always lively and usually packed. The Grand Marshal of this year's parade is Pittsfield native, Westfield resident, and Bay State Medical Center employee Madison Quinn, Pittsfield's youngest Grand Marshal ever. A unanimous selection by the parade committee, Quinn is being honored as the founder and executive director of Strong Little Souls, or SLS, a nonprofit organization she founded at just 13 years old and has led for over a decade. Quinn's leadership of SLS has earned her recognition from the New England Patriots and Berkshire Community College's 40 Under 40 program, which highlights exceptional individuals under the age of 40. What started as a passion project when she was a teenager has now grown into a significant organization that provides critical support to children fighting cancer. Prior to the parade is the 4th of July race, the Independence Day 5K. This starts at 9 a.m. at 500 Wacona Street before running the route of the parade and then ending at Wacona Park at 105 Wacona Street. Last year, Steve Dowsett of Newburyport, Massachusetts, won the 5K race in 15 minutes and 59 seconds. Morgan Widram Gedd of Glendale, Massachusetts, was the fastest woman, running the race in 18 minutes and 41 seconds. The parade kicks off at 10 a.m. sharp on July 4th, rain or shine. It begins at the intersection of South and East and West Housatonic Streets in Pittsfield, then heads up South Street on the southbound lane, straight through Park Square. It then continues up the southbound lane of North Street to Wacona Street, before ending at Wacona Park. Parking is available at the Fenn Street First Street lot, Eagle Street lot, McKay Street lot and garage, and the Summer Street lot. On a health and safety note, please remember to bring umbrellas, raincoats, and or ponchos if it is raining, and stay hydrated if it is super hot. North Adams is also doing 4th of July events. While they do not have a parade, they will be hosting a baseball game. The only one in Berkshire County, since the Pittsfield Suns will not be playing this year due to Wacona Park construction. On July 4th, the North Adams Steeplecats will face North Shore at 5:30 p.m. on Joe Wolf Field. Then, weather provided, there will be fireworks from 9:30 to 10 p.m. Again, make sure to stay hydrated and bring bug spray. Joe Wolf Field can get very buggy. The 4th of July also provides the answer to this episode's trivia question. As a reminder, this episode's question was, when was the first Pittsfield 4th of July parade? The answer is 1824. According to the website, pittsfieldparade.com, quote, the Pittsfield 4th of July parade has a historic reputation dating back to 1824, when the procession consisted of Revolutionary War survivors, patriots, politicians, and horse-drawn carriages. The parade was held off and on by various citizens groups until 1947, when it was taken over by the Pittsfield Permanent Firemen's Association. Under the firemen, the parade grew in size and popularity, end quote. We will be staying in North Adams for our next piece. Windsor Lake Concerts. This is a popular event held every year featuring bands of many different genres. The concerts take place every Wednesday. The series started in early June. Here is who is scheduled to perform from July 2nd on. On July 2nd, it will be All Over the Map. On July 9th, the O-Tones will be performing. Then on July 16th, it will be Erie. On July 23rd will be Bang on a Can prior to their performance at Mass Mocha's Fresh Grass Festival. Both Bang on a Can and Fresh Grass will be discussed in the coming weeks. On July 30th will be Sean McGuire. On August 6th, it will be Eli Elkus. On August 20th, it will be the Hale Mountain Band. And closing out the summer series on August 27th will be Pandemic Relief. All concerts take place on Wednesdays from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Windsor Lake is located at the intersection of Bradley Street and Kemp Avenue. Note that on August 13th, there will be no Windsor Lake concert because of the downtown celebration at North Adams, which will also be discussed in the coming weeks. For more information, visit discovernorthadams.com, click on Events, then click on Windsor Lake Concert Series. For our next story, we will be going to the Berkshire Theater Group, where they will be performing the play Out of Character at the Unicorn Theater, which is located in Stockbridge. After a powerful developmental debut at Berkshire Theater Group's Festival of New Jewish Plays last summer, Out of Character returns for a fully realized production at the Unicorn Theater. Written and performed by Tony Award winner Ariel Stachel, this deeply personal and profoundly moving solo play takes audiences on an intimate journey through identity, mental health, and self-acceptance. Directed by Tony Taccone, this production carries a creative vision that is as innovative as it is compelling. Out of Character is as funny as it is deeply affecting, through storytelling that is both vulnerable and uplifting. Stachel brings audiences along on a journey of discovery that is uniquely his, yet universally relatable. This production is not to be missed. It is an unforgettable night of theater that challenges, inspires, and ultimately celebrates the beauty of embracing who we are. Berkshire Theater Group's Out of Character will be playing at the Unicorn Theater from now until July 26th. The Unicorn Theater in Stockbridge is located at 6 East Street. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit BerkshireTheaterGroup.org or call 413-997-4444. It's now time for this episode's movie portion of WWHEN. This episode, we'll be discussing one of my favorite action movies, the film Nobody. In this film, lead character Hutch Rhymes lives a quiet life with his wife and 2 kids. However, one evening, his family is robbed at gunpoint. When Rhymes fails to stop one of the robbers, his secretive past life comes to light, and he fights back against those who have wronged him. The film was released in 2021 and made back its budget, even with the COVID pandemic closing theaters. So, what do I love about this movie? A lot of people have compared this film to the John Wick series. It makes sense. The 2 films share a production team. However, I think Nobody is better than those films. For one, it doesn't focus on the world building as much as the Wick series. It's all about the fight scenes and set pieces, which are extremely strong. Additionally, the lead character of Hutch Rhymes is also great. Bob Odenkirk does a great job of portraying his initial weakness, and he is great in the action scenes. It's a surprising turn from Odenkirk, who is mostly known as a comedy actor. His comedy background also allows for some funny scenes too. By the way, Nobody 2 comes out in theaters August 15th, and I will be reviewing that film as soon as possible. Our final story is one that I've been waiting to do for quite some time. The beginning of the 2025 Basketball Hall of Fame biographies. This year's 9-member class is extremely impressive. And over the next few episodes, I'll be discussing all of them. The first 2 Hall of Famers for this episode consist of an Olympic team and a member of that team who also had a great individual career. The 2008 U.S. Men's Olympic Basketball Team and Carmelo Anthony. The first member, or rather members, being discussed are the 2008 U.S. Men's Olympic Basketball Team. To understand why this team is getting inducted, one must go back to 2004. That year, the U.S. men's team failed to reach the final in the Olympic tournament for the first time since professionals were allowed to play in the Olympics. This was an embarrassing result for the team, and they earned the nickname the Nightmare Team, a reference to the 1992 Dream Team. New U.S. basketball president Jerry Colangelo demanded a change. So he hired famed college basketball coach and Army veteran Mike Krzyzewski, apologies for any mispronunciation, to lead the team. Prior to tryouts in 2006, Colangelo and Krzyzewski asked over 30 players for a 3-year commitment to play on the U.S. national team, to build chemistry, something that was lacking in the 2004 version. In the book, The Gold Standard, which describes the 2008 team, Colangelo says, quote, "Guys who play together can be a group of all-stars on any given night," end quote. That was the problem with the 2004 team. They were only selected 4 months prior to the games and had no time for chemistry. The 2008 team, on the other hand, trained for 3 years prior to the Olympic Games. When the final roster was announced, it consisted of Hall of Famers Chris Bosh, Kobe Bryant, Jason Kidd, and Dwayne Wade, 2 individual members of the 2025 class in Carmelo Anthony and Dwight Howard, both of whom will be getting their own biographies later on this year. 2 players who were still playing in 2025 in LeBron James and Chris Paul, and solid NBA help from Carlos Boozer, Tayshaun Prince, Michael Redd, and Darren Williams. Carmelo Anthony, Carlos Boozer, LeBron James, and Dwayne Wade were also members of that 2004 team, so they had a personal level of redemption as well. When the Olympics started, the newly named Redeem Team was ready, winning all their games by wide margins. They were playing with a clear purpose, redemption, and to play as a team. The only close game was the final against Spain, which turned out to be an epic contest. Spain had the lead in the first quarter, but the U.S. came back. The teams battled back and forth, and eventually, the U.S. won by the score of 118 to 107, completing their redemption tour. The 2008 team is the fourth Olympic team to be inducted in the Hall of Fame, joining the 1960 U.S. men's team, the 1992 Dream Team, and the 1976 first U.S. women's team. Coincidentally, one player who was on both the 2004 Nightmare team and the 2008 Redeem Team is our other Hall of Famer this week, Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo "Melo" Anthony is one of the best scorers in basketball history. Anthony first rose to fame in high school as a star for both Towson Catholic High School in Baltimore and Oak Hill Academy in Virginia. In 2001, he was named Maryland Player of the Year before transferring to Oak Hill his senior year. He was considered the top prospect in the nation. He attended Syracuse University for 1 year, but it was a great one. In 2003, he led Syracuse to their first and only men's basketball championship, winning Outstanding Player of the Final Four in the process. Afterwards, Melo declared for the 2003 NBA Draft, where he was selected third by the Denver Nuggets. Anthony's impact was immediate. He was runner-up for Rookie of the Year and led the Nuggets to the playoffs. He made the playoffs all 7 years with the team, with a career-high 28.9 points per game in 2007. Eventually, he found his way to the New York Knicks, where his legend continued. In 2013, he led the NBA in scoring. And in 2014, he scored 62 points in one game, which is still the most in franchise history. Over the next few years of his career, Melo hopped around from team to team, eventually retiring after a season with the LA Lakers in 2022. He scored over 28,000 points in his career and won 3 Olympic gold medals in 2004, 2008, and 2012. And in 2022, Anthony was named one of the 75 greatest players in NBA history. Today, he hosts the podcast 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. And his biography, Where Tomorrows Aren't Promised, which discusses his difficult early life in Baltimore, was a bestseller. That ends this episode of Wehry history and entertainment news in the Berkshires and beyond. If you would like to watch this or any other WWHEN episode again, you can visit PCTV's website, shown here, or my YouTube page at RT Wehry. And I want to thank CTSB TV and NBCTC for showing my show on their public access station. Thank you.